Hello everyone, welcome to Mentor Brains. And today in my lecture, I'm going to tell you about data types in Java. Before this, we have done a couple of programs, we have done operators, we have done identifiers, and now it is the time to study data types. So on your screen, as you can see, there I have mentioned about the types of data in Java. Data types are basically what that we are going to learn, and then we'll go into step-by-step segregation of what are the types of data available in Java and how they are different. So talking about data types, the type of data which is stored in Java in variables are different. So for example, you are storing an integer data. For that you need a special data type or special keyword called int. So that is for integer data type. Now if you want to store some character value, then for that, as I have told you in character literals, that you need special word keyword called char to store this type of data. So this char is the data type. Then if you want to store decimal pointers, for that you need float and double. These are also two types of data in Java. These are data types. Data types are basically identifying the type of data which are used to store that data in variables. Okay, so if we are going into the data types, we are going to study two types of data types. One you can see is the primitive and the other one you can see is the non-primitive. So this one, primitive one, I'm going to tell you first, and then we'll go on to non-primitive. Talking about primitive data type is also called fundamental data type. Now these type of data are already available in Java, and they are predefined that these values will store this type of data. So it is the most freshly available or fundamentally available data in Java. Okay, so the type of primitive data types as are already mentioned is Boolean, then you have numeric, character, integral, floating point. I have segregated them all for you. So when I'm going to talk about the data types available, so if you can see the last line, overall these are the total types of primitive data types. So the line I have underlined in red color at last shows the total types of primitive data type. So you can see that if we are going for integers, we have these four available, and these are very important in Java. Now you would say, why do we need these four different types just to store integers? Why do we need byte differently, short differently, int and then long? What are the difference between these four? So that we are going to study now. And similarly for float and boolean, why do we need these two data types separately to study decimal point data types? Why can't one data type store a decimal point value? Then again the same reason which follows for integer data types having four types of data types, and the same reason is there for this floating point also. Let's go in detail about that and then we'll see further. So what are primitive data types, which I've already told you that they are predefined by the language Java and they are named by a keyword. So the first type of primitive data type is byte, which has a size of 1 byte itself. You know, byte and bit, they are two units of memory, and when we are talking about 1 byte, that consists of 8 bits. So a byte data type stores the value from the range -128 to 127, and this is the default value of byte data type. Now what do I mean by default value? Default value means if you are not initializing or giving a value yourself to the data, then in the memory it is going to store that variable value default as 0. If you are writing byte a semicolon, then it will itself store a value of 0 in the data. Okay, so these are the default values. Now short, as you can see, the size of short is 2 bytes, and it has a range of -32768 to 32767. Then integer 4 bytes, again it has more range of values that can be stored. Long is 8 bytes and it has more range of values even than integer. So you see, in integer data types, there are these 4 available, and they have different size of memory. That's why they are different. If you know that the data you are going to put in the variable has a great value, has a large value, so then you can directly choose long for that. Okay, now going on to floating point data types. We have two, float and double. The float carries 4 bytes and double carries 8 bytes. Now, what is the difference between these two apart from size? There is one small difference. First of all, that float carries a suffix f and double carries a suffix d. Okay, so float and double have suffixes. In Java, there is a need to put suffixes because whenever you are storing a floating point value, then you have to write it with a suffix. Also, sometimes in long also an L suffix is fixed. Okay, so when you are storing a float value, you have to put a f suffix at last. Like if you want to write float a equal to 7.2, then you have to put 7.2f. So you will write float a equal to 7.2f. So the memory that will be allotted for float value of a will be 4 bytes and the value stored will be 7.2f. Okay. Similarly for double, you have to write d at last. Now there is one more difference between float and double. The float data type has a precision of 7 places. That means when you are writing a value after the decimal point, the number of places will be 7. For double, the precision is 14. So for float, the precision is 7, and for double, the precision is 14. That means after when you are writing a double value and when you are denoting a variable and storing a variable by the use of double data type, in that case, after the decimal point, the 14 digits will be there. Okay, so this is the difference between the two. Now coming on to Boolean, you know Boolean is used to store just two values, true or false, right? And the default value for Boolean is false. That is something to be remembered because it's asked many a times. And it's stored, it has a size of 1 bit. Okay, just see the difference that these are in bytes, this is in bit. And you already know that 1 byte is equal to 8 bits. Okay, now comes character. Now character carries 2 bytes. Okay, so now one thing is there that some people say that it occupies 1 bit, Boolean occupies 1 bit, but in memory the size actually given is 1 byte. So while having two values, true or false, basically it is saying that it occupies less memory, the least memory. Okay, now coming on to character, as I was saying, it occupies 2 bytes of size and the default value is as mentioned here. It is a slash with these zeros. Okay, so there is no special range of values in character, but as I've told you that the range for Unicode, as in previous lecture, is from 0 to 65535. So the same range lies in character. It's from 0 to 65535, because you know that characters are stored in a Unicode system in Java, that is a 2-byte character coding system that is only used in your character data type. Now we are going to come to derived data types that are also called non-primitive data types. Okay, so non-primitive data types, these refer to objects and hence they are called reference data types. They are derived, reference, or also called composite. Actually, these data types are provided by the programmer and these are derived from our fundamental or primitive data types. That is, the data types we have studies for integer, floating, remember all these byte, short, int, long, float, double, char and boolean that we just studied. We are going to take these data types and help form some other types of data, and these types of data are called non-primitive data type, right? So these other types of non-primitive data types: array, strings, class and interface. The fact is that we are going to study each and everything in detail later: arrays, strings, class and interface, and these are very important, out of which I have already told you a bit of array in the previous lecture, in the lectures we have done before, in which I was telling you about square brackets, remember, and I was telling you about subscript of an array. And also I have been using the keyword class before also when I've written short programs for you, and we'll be using this class keyword further also. And also string I have also used before, but in detail I'm going to tell you again when we are going in the further lectures. But for now, you have to understand that non-primitive data types are different from primitive ones, because non-primitive data types are derived data types, and they have been derived from our primitive data types. So, and these are classified into arrays, strings, class and interface. Clear? So for today I'm going to stop my lecture here, end my lecture here, and we'll be going on further into data types, and also understand each and every data type as we move on to our classes. And if you have any doubt regarding today's lecture or the lectures before, you can write in the comment section. I'll answer your question, and apart from that, you can share my videos if you like them, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.